And the music of List to kick-start the program today. And we heard Ruth Slenlinska, who we were listening to last night, this remarkable Polish-American pianist who's now 97 and has just put out a CD. We sort of profiled her last night, and she was a great exponent of Liszt's music and recorded the first concerto back in the 1950s. And we just heard the last movement. This is vk3sl testing on 160 and on UHF, and also streaming online. We have the streaming service up and running.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to you. Frank, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How was your day?
Oh, yeah, it's been great, thanks. It's been a bit busy, to be honest, because everyone's out of... not everyone, most of the family are out of ISO, so everyone's sort of doing their thing, and I've got to help facilitate people doing their thing.
Yes.
So it's back to the taxi service, but it's okay. It was good. I went out to the Dandenongs, had to go out there today. It was a beautiful day out there.
It's been so good to get outside and travel again.
Yeah, I was out with Olivia. She had something to do out there, and we listened to the entire Abbey Road album, including the deluxe edition with all the takes.
Excellent.
So yeah, it was great to hear all of that, hear all those songs after seeing the big Get Back.
We watched the end of Get Back today.
Oh, you saw the rest of it, did you?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, that's...
It is totally. I didn't realise the Get Back on the Roof had so few tracks on it, though.
Yeah, they only got through about half a dozen or less.
The police stopped them.
Yeah, I know, the police. Isn't that shocking? That policeman, how could you live with yourself of stopping the last Beatles live performance?
No, you'd never forgive yourself.
You couldn't. It's this young guy who looked about 22, and he was being very official, and he'd had 30 complaints.
That's right, in 60 minutes.
Yes, he had 30 complaints in 60 minutes, and he had to shut them down because they were doing the wrong thing. It's so like that pirate radio culture and the BBC and the gatekeepers.
Yeah, that's right. It was so horribly politically correct.
It was just ghastly in that sense, but the Beatles took it in their stride. They had a smile on their face. They even took the piss at one point at the very end, which I thought was just brilliant.
Yeah, not bad. That was a good test, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Nice little swipe at authority there with Paul McCartney changing the words of get back where you belong. Yes, and all the police were up there on the roof ready to arrest them if they kept going. But isn't that unbelievable? And most of the crowd were just completely enthralled and enjoying every moment of it. And there's about 2 or 3 stuffy old English people who unfortunately changed the course of history.
I'd so.
Got the constabulary involved. But there was some great diversionary tactics. Sort of took a while for the police to get up onto the roof.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they got it through half a dozen songs, or a few songs before that happened.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
performed remarkably well under the circumstances.
Oh, they did. It was sort of blowy up there, but they just sang their hearts out. It was amazing stuff. It's the topic of our household at the moment, that series, and I've been compelled to watch the whole lot again.
We've got to do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be multiple. There's so much in the dialogue. There's so much intricacy in the way they relate to each other. It does require further listening, I think.
I can't pick up on it. I mean, it'll take several hearings for me to pick it all up.
Yeah, sure. In fact, interestingly, on the screen they have subtitles just to help sort of bring it to the fore, because
that's a good idea.
Because a lot of it's just sort of hidden in the dialogue, and that's
people were telling me about that stuff.
Yes, that's it. So, but look, it's a incredible series, 3-part doco. It's a pity it's sort of look. It'll be in the public domain in a more broader fashion soon. It won't take long before it's moves out of its current streaming context.
Yep.
Yeah, but look, it's my kids are really into it. All right. Well, look, I'll just get a few more things organised. I'm a bit slow off the mark. I had to deal with a few family necessities before coming in today, and got a little bit more power up the stick today, because I've done in the minutes spare I did a bit of rerouting of the 160 feed line, and I think it's marginally better, maybe another 10 watts.
Could be. I'm not picking it here.
I don't think you'd pick it up. I think it's academic really, but it seems to be more antenna current and a bit more a bit more power. So, but I can still make improvements. So that's something I'll do in the next few weeks. But in general, it's a major improvement. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm just getting the library of historical audio recordings set up, and we won't play a large number, but we'll play a few, because there's some. I've found a couple of good search keywords to search today, and I'll reveal all shortly. But
very good.
But before doing that, we'll have to have our obligatory. You know what the word is.
I do it.
Our 20s hit, obligatory 20s hit. So on the table, I've got the Broadway Syncopators, which is a pseudonym for someone else. This is a record made for Vocalion under the Coles Embassy label. It was pressed in Melbourne, but recorded in the States. And the Broadway Serenaders are going to play two wonderful 4 words. It's the name of the track. This is vk3sl, and we are up and running.
vk3jr on 2 meters.
wonderful for words, what more is there to tell? When I try to speak, words play hide and seek. Where are phrases to sing her praises? Too wonderful for words, there's nothing can be said. I leave it to the birds to make a song instead. What can I say? Words fly away. Too wonderful for words, the one that I'm to wear.
That carbon mic sound, that granular distortion, it's all present on that recording from about 1928. So I don't know who the Broadway Serenaders were, but it was a very pleasant tune. I like the melodic shape of that song. Okay, well, we're testing here, as we do, and it's going to be the penultimate for a little while. Maybe, hopefully, we'll be up and about tomorrow, but thereafter I'm back at the coalface. So there won't be any missions until the following weekend, but we'll that's the way of things. Now, I did notice that Mr. Atticus Jazz is a YouTuber with an enormous collection of early jazz recordings. He's very active in putting things up, and he doesn't over-process, and they're very accessible.
Excellent.
And look, he's just this morning put up a recording, the very first recording of Louis Armstrong and his Hot Five from 1925.
Oh, wow.
The very first record they made for OK in November of that year. And it's fabulous, Louis. It's amazing. It's a great track, and he's calling everyone out. And he's still got his gravelly voice, although he's only 23, I think, here. He's really young. And but yeah, he's calling everyone out, and he's really rearing to go. He's got his own band, and he's just on fire here. So fantastic track. It's called Gut Bucket Blues, and it's an OKR 78. So let's have a listen to Louis Armstrong and his Hot Five. vk3sl.
Play that thing, Mr. Sincere Lord. You know you can do it. Everybody from New Orleans can really do that thing. Hey, hey. That piano, yeah. Oh, blow it, kid, Ori, blow it, kid. You know, you really can blow that thing, boy. Mr. Johnny Dodge. Oh, do that clarinet, boy.
Louis Armstrong and his Hot Five.
Oh, that was great.
From the very first session, yeah. Great stuff, isn't it? They're on fire. They're wanting to make their mark. And, Louis had all his signature catchphrases, and it's great that he gave credit to everyone. They all
Yeah, it was great calling them out like that. I haven't heard. That wasn't commonly done.
Yeah, that's it. So another sort of innovation. It's something we sort of associate with sort of later style presentations of jazz, is that informal aspect, but he's certainly doing that there.
Oh, very much so. Everyone got a Guernsey, I think.
Yep, sorry. What was that?
I think everyone got a Guernsey.
Yeah, they did. And Johnny Dodds, and he called out Kid Ory and Lil Armstrong, his wife, on the piano. So, and Johnny Sincero on the banjo. It was a great record. So we'll wait and find out what else. Maybe there's more early Louis to be had.
I hope so.
Yeah, they made a lot of records, and I'd sort of just hear them as they pop up in my midst. So, yeah, it's good to feature them when we can. Yeah, all right. So, I'll refer now to the library of historical audio recordings at I-78, and I think we've described this enough. I don't think I need to go through the motions again of saying what this is, but it is a great resource, and I'm trying to think of interesting key words. Because the collection's so big, you need to sort of find inputs.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I was looking up ragtime dances. I know that there are a number of dance crazes that came with ragtime, and one of them was the turkey trot. Yep. As a dance. Now, I was reading about the turkey trot, and apparently it just went crazy for a short while. And it says, I'll just read it out because it's quite fascinating. It says, the turkey trot was a dance made popular in the early 1900s and was done to fast ragtime music, popular in the decade from 1900 to 1910. And driven largely by youth counterculture of the time.
Nothing's changed.
Yes, exactly. Driven largely by youth counterculture, the turkey trot fad quickly fell out of favour as the foxtrot, a much more conservative dance step based on the waltz, rose to the popularity by 1914. So the basic step of the turkey trot consisted of 4 hopping steps sideways with the feet well apart. And it goes on, it explains the dance.
Sounds almost dangerous.
Well, it was, because it was denounced by the Vatican.
There you are. Oh, my God. Yes. I suppose it kept your links too far apart.
I expect it did. It was thought that the positions assumed by the dancers were offensively suggestive.
There you go.
Yeah, conservative members of society felt that the dance promoted... That's right, exactly. Felt that the dance promoted immorality and tried to get it banned at public functions, which only served to increase its popularity.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so there are news reports of dancers being fined because of, quote, their turkey trots were interpreted by the courts as disorderly conduct.
That's ridiculous.
In another instance, 15 working girls were fired from their jobs with the Philadelphia song publisher Curtis Publishing when they were caught doing the turkey trot, though it was during their lunch break.
Oh, my God.
Anyhow, there's quite a bit of information about the turkey trot as a dance craze. There are other dance crazes too. There's the grizzly bear, and there's a number of them. And and the bunny hug was another one.
Well, that's an interesting one.
So it was wonderful, delightful counterculture. But the great thing is, I put in turkey trot into the search engine for the library, and up comes about 50 entries.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's fascinating. So we can hear a turkey trot here. It's the International Rag Medley Turkey Trot, it says. It's the National Promenade Band on an Edison Domestic Series 4-minute celluloid amberol cylinder. So it was recorded in 1913. So, all being well, I haven't tested this system today because I've made some adjustments, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed it will just play. Let's see if it does. vk3sl testing. Is it working? It's not working. Oh, that is absolutely disastrous. How can it be? No. That is sacrilege, because I wanted to hear that track. Well, we'll have to dial it up on the. We have got a secondary system, but I was hoping it would work because it's doing everything right. I'll plug it back in, and Yeah. Oh, well, we'll have to fix this up on the log. But there's sometimes the browser doesn't quite load things as it should. All right, what I'll do, I can play it because I've got a secondary system here, and it should work. And but I'll have to put on something while I get that organised. So we'll just flip the disc here. We'll hear side B of that 78 I played before.
Oh, good.
The other side is the Chicago Redheads, and it's a track called Stepping Along from the movie Tone Talkie Words and Music, about 1929. So we'll play this first, and hopefully I can dial this up on the other system. It might take a few minutes, but we'll get there in the end. So, right, here we go. vk3sl.
Stepping high, stepping low, do your stuff, don't be slow. You can't go wrong, stepping along. When your toes twinkle high, trouble blows right on by. Me oh my oh, just keep stepping along. When you get lonesome, feeling blue, try a few steps gymnastics. You'll come smiling through, tripping a life fantastic. Stepping high, stepping low, start a smile, watch it grow. You can't go wrong, stepping along.
Chicago Redheads, way back when on a Coles Embassy. Now we've done our due diligence. We've got the second system, hopefully, in operation.
Yes. Just a note, when you finish your show later on tonight or whatever,
Yes.
I'll send you an email. I've got a link to, I've done some test transfers off those of raw files.
Oh, right. Very good.
Of EDDs.
Yes.
And you might want to listen to them on the big speaks and
Yes, indeed.
hear what...
Yes, do you mind if I play them tomorrow or something?
Oh, look, it's just edited bits. It's not really to play.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
I found, look, the EQ on the desk, you get a pretty decent idea. It's quite good.
Yep.
Going to the extra stuff, it's a bit better, but maybe it's worse. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
And if you equalise them for the Oritone speaker,
Yep.
then you play on the leak, they sound crap. You equalise the leak, you know, you've got all the extra sort of. It depends, but anyway, it's an average thing. And have a listen. Some of it's quite amazing. There is stuff above 6K, but to get all the needle scratch.
Yes.
It's definitely there,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no way to recover it that I know
without getting all the hash that goes with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
But maybe, really good software could do it. Anyway, I'll let you go back to the program.
Oh, look, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing that. And yes, equalisation's always a vexed issue, is it? For what do you equalise? And yes, the things can sound great on the Oratones. In fact, I think a lot of recording studios just have a bash machine in the booth.
That's right, an Oratone.
Yes.
And look, that's of course the deep rumble and stuff that's a pain on the big speakers doesn't even matter anymore.
No, that's right.
And the super highs, you don't hear them either. But it still sounds quite pleasant. So,
Yes.
maybe you should equalise for that and
Yes.
do what they want later. But
Yes,
anyway.
indeed, that's right.
So,
Well, the good news is
on the Wharfdales or whatever.
Yeah. Well, look, the thing is that you've got the flat file, so people can do really whatever they want. As long as you don't have anything that's too sculptured to start with, then at least you can find your own happy medium. But very good. Thanks for that. All right. Well, we'll continue. We'll hear this Turkey Trot from 1913. It's a track called International Rag Medley, and it's the National Promenade Band. So hopefully we'll have a result this time. That was the International Promenade, or the National Promenade Band in 1913, and some counterculture music, and from that time, and featuring the Turkey Trot, which was a dance craze, a ragtime dance craze at that time.
Very dangerous.
Oh yes. So there's some sort of weird stuff here as well, and some sort of mixing different international elements and some unusual labels. This is a label from the period before the First World War called Crescent. I don't know anything about Crescent Records. It's a stamp label. It's before paper labels were established, and it looks by all accounts to be quite a rarity. It's Hager's Orchestra, and it's a track called My Hindu Man, and says, yes, My Hindu Man, and explicitly says...
Is it Asian exotica?
It could well be. We'll have to listen and find out. But it says it's explicitly a turkey trot. So
Just on the dances, there was a dance called the Black Bottom as well, wasn't there?
there was indeed. The Black Bottom was a Charleston craze.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was. So
It's a bit later.
yes, quite a bit later, about 10 years later or more, 12 years later. Yeah, that's very much in that mid-1920s feel, but the Black Bottom's is a great dance. Yeah, all right, let's have a listen to
My Hindu Man.
My Hindu Man. Fascinating stuff. Recording from the period 1914. It's got a date, and to my ears, that sounds quite Jewish, really, in the minor key.
That Eastern flavour.
It certainly does. It's Hager's Orchestra, so that might have something to do with it too, on the Crescent label. So a track called My Hindu Man, and it's a turkey trot by all accounts. And I've got the other system up and running now, so we can have a sample from our main I-78's go-to Putes. I've got a special Putes devoted to this site alone. If I can make it work reliably, it'll be a good resource. So here's a song. I thought I'd play it because it sort of tells a bit of a story. And it's by Arthur Collins and Byron Harlan, who made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of recordings at that time. Their names turn up everywhere. They recorded for every label. And they're duettists, sort of vaudeville duettists. But in this instance, they're singing a song called I'm Crazy About the Turkey Trot. So we'll have a listen to what they have to say about the topic, recorded in 1911.
Down in Perkins' barnyard every Saturday night. Oh, what a sight! Moon shining bright. All the Reubens get together filled with delight. And they dance and sway while the fiddles play. Look at Sally Simpkins over there with her bow. He's not so slow, just see them go. All the folks go crazy when that French they try. They would dance till they die. Now you'll get shot.
I got it.
On the spot.
What for?
If you stop that turkey trot. Gobble,
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 gobble.
while the music's playing hobble,
Hobble,
wobble,
wobble.
let your feet go swaying, babe, this sure is going some. I just feel like crowing on. Slower,
Faster,
faster,
slower.
not the way you used to. You're a
Who's that?
chicken.
Robert.
I'm a great big rooster. Cackle,
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 crackle,
cackle,
crackle.
cackle.
Fly with me and fly with me, then flap your wings and fly with me. Great Scott! Tell you what, I'm crazy about the turkey trot. Gobble,
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 gobble.
hobble,
Hobble,
wobble.
wobble.
Slower,
Faster,
faster.
slower.
You're a
Who's that?
chicken.
Robert.
Cackle,
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 crackle,
crackle,
cackle,
crackle.
cackle. Great Scott!
Tell you what, I'm crazy about the turkey trot. When the dance is over and the folks say goodbye, from roots on high, chickens then fly, right upon the barnyard floor, those dances they try. They forget to beg while they conversate. See that phantom rooster with a hen by his side? He's happy bride, just see them slide. They forget that they will soon be in the stew. When those prances they do, now how they fling,
You there?
how they swing,
You tell.
while they do the chicken wing. Gobble,
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 gobble.
while the music's playing hobble,
Hobble,
wobble,
wobble.
let your feet go swaying, babe, this sure is going some. I just feel like throwing on. Slower,
Faster,
faster,
slower.
not the way you used to. You're a
Who's that?
chicken.
Robert.
I'm a great big rooster. Cackle,
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 crackle,
cackle,
crackle.
cackle.
Fly with me and fly with me, then flap your wings and fly with me. Great Scott! Tell you what, I'm crazy about the turkey trot. Gobble,
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 gobble.
hobble,
Hobble,
wobble.
wobble.
Slower,
Faster,
faster.
slower.
You're a
Who's that?
chicken.
Robert.
Cackle,
Cackle,
crackle,
cackle,
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 crackle.
cackle. Great Scott!
Tell you what, I'm crazy about the turkey trot.
There was Collins and Harlan on an Edison. No, it's not an Edison. It's an Everlasting cylinder. That was another brand. And look, a bit of counterculture there. Crazy about the turkey trot. Very interactive. You could get a sense of the. You have to sort of read between the lines a little bit, but we get the idea, I think. And just looking at a few social commentaries about dance crazes in the very early days in the ragtime era, and featuring a few turkey trots from the I-78's collection. So, Arthur Collins and Byron G. Harlan in 1911. Now, interestingly, there were means to try and combat the offensive dances of that time, and there was a hit put out in 1913, but there's no recordings of it online. I've looked everywhere, and I can't seem to find one. Maybe someone else can seek one out, but there is someone doing a modern realisation of the old sheet music, so I might play it just for the sake of continuity and context and all of that. And it was a song called Anti-Ragtime Girl. And she says, it gives a little quote here. It says, "She don't do the bunny hug nor dance the grizzly bear. She hasn't learned the turkey trot, and she can't tell a tango from a can-can or a jig. She's my little anti-ragtime girl." So this is the way the authorities tried to...
combat.
Yeah.
It's the fight back.
Yes, exactly. This is the fight back. Trying to find an even keel, and I think the way they did it was to sort of popularise the foxtrot by all accounts, and then the rest is history. But I mean, I can't really hear anything that's overtly subversive in the sound of
I must
this.
have just been watching them do it, I think.
I think it's the dance that went with the style.
Yeah, it's the leisure part that gets you.
I think it is. In fact, there's a tutorial on how to do the turkey trot
You
online.
what's in between, you see.
Yeah, exactly. You're more inclined to think of what's between.
I say no more than that.
If there's a bit of air. Yes. So we'll hear the song from 1913. It's a modern realisation. This is just some enthusiast who's found the sheet music and singing it. Something brilliant, but the words are what counts. So here's the song, Anti-Ragtime Girl from 1913.
Anti-Ragtime Girl from 1913, sung by sheet music singer. You can talk about your ragtimes and your all-night cabarets. You may sing the praise of all the lights that gleam on old Broadway, and of all the fluffy ruffle girls that make the life divine. But not one of them can travel with this little girl of mine. She's just a little fireside girl, and you may call her slow, but she's just the kind your mother would have liked to have you know. She don't do the bunny hug or dance the grizzly bear. She hasn't learned the turkey trot, and somehow she don't care for chasing round the restaurant. She doesn't care a fig. She can't tell a tango from a can-can or a jig. She don't wave her shoulders when the band plays itchy coo. The wedding glide don't make her senses whirl. But you bet that she's right there on some sweet old-fashioned air, like Genevieve, sweet Genevieve. She's my little anti-ragtime girl. There are lots of girls on Broadway who have foreign motor cars, and the chorus ladies always have much finer ones than stars. But this little girl that I know likes the subway or the L, and she says that in a little cottage we are going to dwell. She thinks that moving picture shows are absolutely grand, and when they turn the light out, I'm allowed to hold her hand. She don't do the bunny hug or dance the grizzly bear. She hasn't learned the turkey trot, and care a fig. She can't tell a tango from a can or a jig. She don't wave her shoulders when the band plays itchy coo. The wedding glide don't make her senses whirl. But you bet that she's right there on some sweet old-fashioned air. Like Genevieve, sweet Genevieve. She's my little anti-ragtime girl. She don't do the bunny hug or dance the grizzly bear. She hasn't learned the turkey trot, and somehow she don't care for chasing round the restaurant. She doesn't care a fig. She can't tell a tango from a can or a jig. She don't wave her shoulders when the band plays itchy coo. The wedding glide don't make her senses whirl. But you bet that she's right there on some sweet old-fashioned air. Like Genevieve, sweet Genevieve. She's my little anti-ragtime girl.
That was a hit in 1913.
Well, I feel cleansed now.
Yes, that's right. That is the means to subvert the counterculture there.
Wasn't that an interesting piano sound?
Yes, yeah. Someone's sort of put that together, and they had the score from the original sheet music on the screen as they sang. So
Great quality.
yeah. Just a recent upload. So a historian, I think, put that together.
When was that done, do you know?
I think it was just recorded very recently. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that was just.
Oh, well, that explains it all.
Yeah. It's more of a historical document rather than something artistic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it would be great to find an original recording of that song, but to my best knowledge, there's nothing. I did some multiple searches without success, but others may have their means to find one. It would be interesting. I'll just play a couple more, and then we'll change gear. There's another turkey trot here. It's called the Gertrude Hoffman Glide. I love these titles. The Gertrude Hoffman Glide. It's the Victor military band on a Victor 10-inch from about 1912, thereabouts. So I think we can give this a whirl. Let's have a listen. Something authentic. Yes, I wonder if couples surreptitiously sneaked into the parlour at night, wound up the Victrola and listened to the Gertrude Hoffman Glide. Maybe they did. I hope so too. We might be all the better for it. I'm sure we are. We'll just have one more turkey trot. This is a ragtime craze, in case you've just tuned in the around about 1910, early days of the century, and it sort of was a part of popularising ragtime and putting it onto the map through dance crazes. Before that, it was more of a sort of novelty thing. And of course, the dance craze is a very big part of what capitulated popular styles and consolidated them and allowed them to develop, was people could get out there and move to the music. So this one's called the Grizzly Turkey Trot. It's Arthur Pryor's band. It's on another Victor from about the same period. And what else can I say? Grizzly. I think Grizzly refers to the grizzly bear, which is a similar
another dance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was another dance, similar dance. And but it's called the Grizzly Turkey Trot. So all you have to do is drop it into the field and it'll start when it's ready. vk3sl. Well, I think that was the most musically interesting out of all of them. That recording of Arthur Pryor's band and the Grizzly. Oh, that's interesting. It's on a seems to be playing through the list. All right. Well,
yeah, that was terrific, wasn't it?
It was great. Yeah.
It's interesting. Brass bands were so much at the heart of all of this stuff, weren't they?
Very much so. The brass band tradition reigned supreme. Every town had every village had a brass band, and it was very much in the consciousness of the masses. They would go to the local park and hear the brass band play. In fact, the extant number of bandstands in public spaces in Australia is testimony to that tradition, really. And I do see collections of old sheet music they used to use. They used to use cards which they clip on to little stands on especially the marching bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's often.
That's interesting. They need something stiff, wouldn't they?
They do. They're sort of embossed on card.
Right.
And it's interesting to see these artefacts. And I know one of the schools I was working at were throwing out all of their old brass band instruments.
Oh, no.
And some really historic instruments. And I picked one out of the bag, which I thought was interesting. It happens to be, it's a cornet from about 1909.
Yep.
And it's an unusual key. I think it's something like an A-flat cornet or something. It's something that sort of completely doesn't fit into any modern type of ensemble. But what that reveals is that a lot of these ensembles had a particular sound based on the geometry of the instruments, and they had their own sort of particular sounds. Yeah, exactly. Different. We sort of succumb to very international styles today, so we hear brass band music with a particular ambience. But back then, there were multitudes of different instruments and different tuning schemes. And
no standardization.
Yeah, so look, it's a fascinating subject, and I become quite fascinated. Brass band music is really something that I'm really warming to a lot more, and I'd like to feature more on the program because I do think it's worth acknowledging for sure.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, it certainly does.
As a subject.
Definitely. Anyhow, look, I'll try and keep it to 5 or 6 tracks from the I-78's library because I could go crazy with this and then we'd probably lose all our listeners. But there is one more turkey trot. There's one more turkey trot that I have to play, and this one's from 1963. And it's Little Eva. Little Eva put out a song. Apparently, I've just discovered this. I've got to hear it. It's called Let's Turkey Trot.
Oh, yes.
So let's have Little Eva tell us the story as it was in 1963.
Come on, let's turkey trot. Let's get it while it's hot.
Will be forgotten. Yeah.
Come on, let's turkey trot. Let's give it all we got. And when the dance is through, I'll talk some turkey with you. Oh, we're gonna do the turkey trot again, just like they did it back in 1910. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Gobble diddle lip, gobble gobble diddle lip.
Hey!
That's Little Eva and Let's Turkey Trot, and that winds up our Turkey Trot segment for today.
Before we leave it, I can tell you a little bit about Little Eva.
Oh, please do.
It's a very interesting story. Little Eva was the kind of housemaid of Carole King.
Oh, yeah.
And Jerry Goffin when they were an item.
Yeah.
Back in the early 60s.
Sure.
And Carole King wrote hit for Little Eva called The Locomotion.
Ah, she's the original Locomotion.
She was.
It's
and
not Kylie Minogue.
I suspect this might have been the flip side of Locomotion.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, we've got to play Locomotion. That's great to hear that story. So that's how it all happened. Locomotion. Let's find it. Here we go.
Carole King would have written that song as well, I imagine.
Yeah, quite positive. Yeah. So here we go. Locomotion, 1963, Little Eva. Oh, this will be good. I like this song. I remember when Kylie Minogue made a bit of a go at it in the 80s, but this is the original.
Better. This is better.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hear Little Eva in Loco. vk3sl.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with me. It's easier than learning your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, baby. Jump up, jump back. Well, I think you got the knack. Whoa, now that you can do it, let's make a change now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. A chugga motion like a railroad train now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it nice and easy now, don't lose control. A little bit of rhythm and a lot of soul. Come on, do the locomotion with me. Yeah. Move around the floor in a locomotion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it holding hands if you get the notion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. There's never been a dance that's so easy to do. It even makes you happy when you're feeling blue. So come on, do the locomotion with me. Come on, you gotta swing your hips now. Come on, that's right. You're doing fine. Do the locomotion. Come on, baby. Jump back. Jump back. You're looking good. Jump back.
Little Eva.
Little Eva.
That is fantabulous. I love it. I like that music. In fact, it's interesting, the Beatles, watching this big biopy thing, they are really into early rock, aren't they? And soul.
Totally. No, they credit it for getting them, started.
Yeah. But I just notice when they're noodling and improvising and doing their sort of just happen chance things, they just keep referring back to a lot of songs from that era. They sort of just morph into that.
It was a wellspring for them.
Yeah, that's it. And rhythm and blues and all those traditions. It's a spring eternal for.
But they did move beyond it, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. But it's always informs what they do.
It does. It's at the centre of it, really.
It's fascinating, isn't it, to see how they actually transmute it. Oh, I want to hear some more Little Eva. I was reading about. I read a really awful anecdote about her. It says. Goffin and King wrote a song called "He Hit Me," and it felt like a kiss. It's a shocking name for a song.
God.
And after discovering that Boyd, being Little Eva, was being regularly beaten by a boyfriend.
Oh no!
And when they inquired why she tolerated such treatment, Eva replied without batting an eyelid that her boyfriend's actions were motivated by his love for her. Terrible.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh. Horrible stuff. Isn't it incredible what people endure and what sort of comes out in the wash? Oh, well, what else has she got here? Let's find another Little Eva. I might just jump in and just find one. Here we go. Mama Said. This one's from...
Mama Said There'll Be Days Like This. This is a good song.
Okay.
It's a rhythm and blues song.
Is it? Okay. Sure. Well, we'll have a listen. Well, let's move into the zone today. I've had a lot of fuddy-duddy music today, so we'll have something a bit contemporary, bit of spark. Little Eva, Mama Said, 1970. Let's cue it and find out. Why isn't it doing it what it should? Sorry, folks. It's a convoluted process, and sometimes things take longer than they should. I think we're ready. Little Eva and Mama Said, 1970, that release. But
now, that was really Motown music.
Yeah.
That had moved into... That was a cover version of a big hit by the Shirelles, I think.
Oh, you're just a minefield of information, because I was just reading that.
I'm overdoing it a bit.
Not at all. I love it. I was just reading that fact, and then you said it so... yeah, that's exactly it. So interesting to sort of hear how... someone with enormous personality like her was able to pick up and reinvent a song and bring it to the fore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she? I like her sound. I like her energy.
A lot of pizzazz, hasn't she?
She certainly does. Little Eva. Oh, she had another song here. It says, keep your hands off my baby, it says. I don't know.
Another Motown song.
I think it is. Yeah, well, let's have a listen. It's on the Dominion label, and we'll just do the proverbial cue up, and we'll have to hear this too. I'm a little bit of a Little Eva roll at the moment. I enjoy music like this. That last one was compressor house, wasn't it? Maybe this one's a little bit more open.
This is the sort of stuff Phil Spector picked up on later and put the wall of sound into
it. Yes, that's it. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go back to 1962. Little Eva.
Oh, this will be Port's pre-Motown then.
Okay, sure. 1962. Hands Off My Baby, Little Eva. And I'm vk3sl testing on 160.
We've been friends for oh so long. I let you share what's mine. But when you mess with the boy I love, it's time to draw the line. Keep your hand off my baby. I ain't gonna tell you
We've been listening to Little Eva, a few hits there from the early 1960s, and that one from 62 on the Dominion label. Bit distorted, that record. Yay, well, Frank, where to go from here?
Oh, I don't know. One day we must do Motown.
Oh, look, that'd be really good. Have you got a fave Motown hit? Is there one that sort of really stands out? I mean, I know there's millions, and give us a quick Motown expose.
How about My Boyfriend's Back?
Yeah, sounds good. Now,
by the I'm not sure. Might be the Shirelles.
Okay.
There are a lot of girly groups, you know. There's the Crystals and the Shirelles and the Supremes.
Yes, I can identify with the Supremes. My Boyfriend's Back is the name of the song. And we have The Angels. Is the Angels version?
Yep.
That's the one?
That'll do.
Okay.
I think that's the original.
Is the original?
Very good lyric.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sounds great. Right, well, just it's a Mercury release. My Boyfriend's Back. Original single version, it says here.
Oh,
all right, so this will be good. So good. You can just dial up anything. You can just go whatever that takes your fancy.
Remarkable stuff.
It is, isn't it? Just to think we live in an age where everything is in the public domain, and all the more so with our recent discoveries. I'm just queuing as I speak. Here we go. The Angels. My Boyfriend's Back. vk3sl testing.
He went away and you hung around and bothered me every night. And when I wouldn't go out with you, you said things that weren't very nice. My boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. See him coming, better cut out on the double. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. You've been spreading lies that I was untrue. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. So look out now, 'cause he's coming after you. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. Hey, he knows what you've been trying, and he knows that you've been lying. He's been gone for such a long time. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. Now he's back and things will be fine. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. You're gonna be sorry you were ever born. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. 'Cause he's kinda big and he's awful strong. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. Hey, he knows I wasn't cheating. Now you're gonna get a beating. What made you think he'd believe all your lies? Wahoo, you're a big man now, but he'll cut you down to size. Wahoo, wait and see. My boyfriend's back, he's gonna save my reputation. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. If I were you, I'd take a permanent vacation. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. My boyfriend's back now. My boyfriend's back. I can see you coming, so you better get up and it's back now. Yeah. My boyfriend's back. I know he's coming after you because he's
there's The Angels and My Boyfriend's Back, the original single version from 1963. Great suggestion, Frank. I love it. Great music. So, yes. Would you classify that as Motown or pre-Motown?
Yeah, it's Motown type music, certainly.
Yes.
Whether it's on the Motown label, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember what label it was on. I think it was a Mercury release, actually, that record. But that's all fine. I mean, just fire away. Go with Stream of Consciousness.
Oh, well, how about He's a Rebel by... oh, God, I don't know. Try He's a Rebel. You'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it, because all we need is a key word or two, and He's a Rebel, and we can just look it up. He's a Rebel, And we look up and we have the Crystals.
Yes.
From 1962. All right.
I
Okay.
think Phil Spector was married to a crystal.
Yes, I can see a picture of Phil Spector here with these dark glasses.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking very serious.
In the middle of it.
Okay, well, we'll go with the single version here, the Crystals, and we'll just do what we do is dial it up and then refer it, and then we cue it, and then we're on board. So, yes, I know it's a 3-stage process, and it could be so much easier, but nothing's easy here. And I sort of like it that way. Yes, it's a form of madness. The Crystals. Let's go.
See the way he walks down the street. That's the way he shuffles his feet. My old his head up high when he goes walking by. He's my guy. When he holds my hand, I'm so proud. 'Cause he's not just one of a crowd. My baby always the one to try the thing they've never done. And just because of that, they say, he's a rebel and he'll never ever be any good. He's a rebel 'cause he never ever does what he should do. Just because he doesn't do what everybody else does. Oh, that's no reason why I can't give him all my love. He is always good to me, always treats me tenderly. 'Cause he's my rebel, no, no, no. He's my rebel, no, 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 to me. If they don't like him that way, they won't like me after today. And I'll be standing right by his side when they say he's a rebel and he'll never ever be any good. He's a rebel 'cause he never ever does what he should do. Just because he doesn't do what everybody else does. Oh, that's no reason why we can't share a love. He is always good to me, good to him I try to be. 'Cause he's my rebel, no, no, no. He's my rebel, no, 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 to me. Oh, he's my rebel, no, 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 no,
Crystals from 1962. He's a rebel. Yeah. Did they have any other hits there, Frank, the Crystals?
Yeah, they did. I can't name them off the top of my head because all those groups sounded so similar.
Yeah, sure. I associate that sound with the Supremes.
Well, we should play a Supreme song.
Yeah, tell me.
How about Love Child?
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll just look it up.
We'll bring in a little bit of spice.
Yeah, for sure. Love Child, Supremes.
Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Yeah, so Diana Ross is still going, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She's a fair age, a mature age woman.
Yes.
But she had a particularly good voice.
Mm.
She went solo, of course.
Yes, that's right. I sort of associate her with her solo career in later times.
Did very well.
Yeah, okay. This is 1968, so it's well and truly in the...
Right in the middle of it.
Yeah, in the Motown envelope. So we'll just get this queued up. 1968, yeah, very good year for me, incidentally, I should say.
Pretty good for me too.
Yeah, yes, 1968, middle of the year, it all happened. And
did it, yes.
And I took my first breath. All right, here we go. The Supremes, Love Child. Let's have a listen.
In others' eyes I see reflected, I hurt, scorned,
She's so glamorous.
Oh, yeah.
Is Diana Ross, the Supremes.
That had a particular interest because the lyrics of the song apparently pretty much reflected her life.
Okay, right. Did she have a love child?
Yes, she was a love child.
Oh, she was a love child. Right. How about that? Oh, incredible. Well, partly biographical. Yeah. Did she have a part in writing some of these songs, or do they...
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Sure.
I don't know much about the provenance of Motown.
Yeah.
But there were a few special writers who were... Holland Dozier and Holland were the big writers of Motown.
Yep. Okay.
And Berry Gordy Jr. was the brains behind a lot of it.
Oh, really? Oh, look, we should do a whole feature on Motown music.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, I love the sound. I love its gospel influence.
Yes, I know. It's terrific.
It's
and
just
the harmony's
fantastic.
great too, isn't it?
They are. And the sound world, there's a full symphony orchestra. There's a whole string section behind that sound.
And pretty skillfully used,
Yeah, very skillfully used. It's a really wonderful sound world, and with the percussion at the fore and that virtuosic bass line. The bass lines dance all over the place. Yeah. So it's sort of led by the bass line partly. It's
pretty much it is. Yeah.
It's a fascinating concept. So they must have had some really good virtuoso players that sort of informed the whole process. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's a story there. Okay, let's have another Motown spell. I'm putting you on the spot here, Frank. I hope you don't mind.
Well, I remember there was a hit around the time of the Beatles coming to Australia.
Yeah.
And I remember John nominated this as one of his favourites at that moment.
Yeah, sure.
There was a song called My Guy.
Yep.
By Mary Wells.
Mary Wells. We're looking at
ordinary song, but it's a pretty song.
Okay, fine, no worries. Here we go. It's here, and I've got a few different versions of it. What to use? I'll just go with the one that's got the most hits, because that's probably the one with the better quals. At a guess, who knows? Yeah, all right. Well, we'll have a listen to this, and this one was nominated by none other than Mr. Lennon himself. So no better endorsement. Mary Wells and My Guy. We're just queuing up as we speak. Here we go. In the Groove. vk3sl. Testing.
Nothing you can take can tear me away from my guy. Nothing you could do, 'cause I'm stuck right glued to my guy. Sticking to my guy like a stamp to a letter, like birds of a feather we stick together. I'm telling you from the start, I can't be torn apart from my guy. Nothing you could do could make me untrue to my guy. My guy. Nothing you could buy could could take me away from my God. Tell me more, he's not a man today who could take me away from my God.
Mary Wells and the proverbial fade out at the end. That was very much a part of the keeping the pace going, really. You could fade out and morph as they did.
Within the next one, before the previous is quite faded out.
Yeah, that's it. So, look, I've got time for two more because I've just realised reality bites. I've got to go in and do the dinner, and I'm doing a lot at the moment. So, and I've got to get my crew into gear to get the production line going. I've told everyone that at 10 to 7 we'll be all working together to cook a meal for tonight.
Very good.
So,
joint effort.
Yeah, it'll be a joint effort. I think we're doing fish. But
nice.
Yeah. Anyhow, I've got time for a couple more. I can sneak a couple more Motowns in.
Well, the first one, very early Motown, first Motown song that I know of, really, is composed by Barry Gordy Jr.
Yeah.
Sung by a guy called Marv Johnson.
Yep.
And it's You've Got What It Takes.
You've got what it takes. All right, we'll search up. And Marv Johnson, yes, right on top of the list. And we can definitely hear this. This looks good. Great suggestion. Oh, I'm loving this. Well, we should do this more often. And we'll have to, embrace some contemporary styles. We've got to sort of find a bit of a balance. I love the old stuff. I find it intriguing beyond all imagination, but I also love hearing some upbeat music.
Variety is the spice.
It is the spice. We need variety. Marv Johnson, you have got what it takes. Let's have a listen. vk3sl testing.
You got what it takes to satisfy. You got what it takes to set my soul on fire. Whoa, oh yeah. You got what it takes for me. Now you don't live in a beautiful place. You don't dress with the best of taste. And nature didn't give you such a beautiful face. But baby, you got what it takes to satisfy. You got what it takes to set my soul on fire. Oh, 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 yeah. You got what it takes for me. Now when you're near me, ooh-wee, my head goes around and around. And when you kiss me, oh yeah, my love comes tumbling down. You send me, you don't live in a beautiful place. You don't dress with the best of taste. And nature didn't give you such a beautiful face. But baby, you got what it takes to satisfy. You got what it takes to set my soul on fire. Whoa, and whoa, you got what it takes for me. Now when you're near me, little girl, my head goes around and around. And when you kiss me, oh yeah, my love comes tumbling down. You send me, you don't live in a beautiful place. You don't dress with the best of taste. And nature didn't give you such a beautiful face. But baby, you got what it takes to satisfy. You got what it takes to set my soul on fire. Whoa, oh yeah. You got what it takes for me. Oh yeah. You got what it takes. Don't need no money. Baby, you don't need no car. Come on, you know you got what it takes for me. Little girl, you got what it takes for me. Yes, baby, you got what it takes for me.
As Marv Johnson, and you've got what it takes. What a great track. And that's sort of the dawn of the era, by all accounts.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, fabulous.
That was good. Now, we should finish with one by the Shirelles.
Oh, yeah.
So could you just look up the Shirelles and we'll see what's there?
You need to give me, because I can't spell.
Yes, well, I can't either. S-H-I-R-E-L-L.
Okay,
Yes,
the Shirelles. I think I've got a handle on that. Here we go, the Shirelles. Baby, It's You, Mama Said, Soldier Boy, Love Me Tomorrow. Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? That was one of the tracks.
Is that right?
Sorry?
Is that one of the tracks?
Yeah.
Let's do that one.
Okay, we'll hear that.
This was a Carole King song.
Okay.
Which she herself later recorded on her big album called Tapestries.
Oh, yes.
And she did it much slower and much more sort of in contemplation mode.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sort of a bouncy little number.
Yeah.
But actually the lyric does bear sort of deeper thinking that this song sort of suggests, and that's what Carole King did in her version of it.
Oh, how interesting.
But she wrote it. Carole King wrote it.
She actually wrote it.
Yeah.
Fine. Great. All right then. Well, thank you. We'll wind up with this.
This is the question a lot of girls must ask themselves.
Yeah, all right. Oh, that's very thought-provoking. Great. All right, we'll wind up with this, Frank. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Good fun.
It's great fun, and we should be back at the helm tomorrow, all being well, and then it'll be a hiatus for a bit because of situations.
Of course.
Yeah, so thanks again, and thanks to the listeners. Thank you for those who have hung in there while we've just meandered along here. It's been quite a journey. And we'll finish up now with the Shirelles. So this is vk3sl saying cheers, thank you, and we'll catch you next time.
vk3jr on 2 meters.